Hey everybody, how's it going out there? My name is Danny K, and this is another episode of Blockchain Breakdown. I haven't done a video in quite some time. I've been very, very busy, but I figured I might as well start getting some stuff out. I'm going to just, to get into the flow of things, I'm just going to kind of do some quick, unpolished videos, just so I can get kind of back in the habit of making these videos, and I get some content out to my 60 subscribers. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and essentially we're going to be talking about some news things that I saw in the world today. One about Monero and how it was allegedly attacked, but not hacked. Another one about a senator that is very pro-Bitcoin and very, very blunt and honest about the inflationary U.S. monetary policy. And then lastly, my kind of thoughts on Ethereum's 2.0 staking and the maximum possible rewards or APY you could get for staking 32 ETH on the new 2.0 Ethereum 2.0 blockchain. But yeah, to start things off, essentially we have, yes, Monero was attacked, but no, it wasn't broken. So an anonymous Twitter user by the name of Fierce UK basically shared a web address that revealed personal information of several Monero users, allegedly. He basically claimed that he released 100 IP addresses, their transaction details, some of their illicit preferences, porn preferences, based off of some torrents that they downloaded, as well as the node's IP and the city of origin. And so then there's this website, Monero Bad CACA, where he has this stuff just pumping out and being listed as kind of a data dump. And on there you see the transaction ID, the IP address, the city, and then a column for favorite porn. And obviously, this first goes without saying, you don't want to see, no matter how much you value privacy, it's always a shame to see when privacy is used for such terrible and predatory things as CP, right? Like, it is unfortunately the very sad dark side of Monero, and for every good person that values their privacy, there's going to be a bad person that exploits it and uses it to do illegal things or immoral things. And so it is very unfortunate that happens, but to get a little off that and go more into the details of what actually happened, things may kind of look a little different. So essentially, he claimed that he had been logging Monero transactions for over a year, and the main reason that he decided to go public was because of blatant lies that are coming, that are nothing to worry about when the Monero dev team says that CipherTrace is private, or that CipherTrace, the blockchain analysis company that can track these transactions, allegedly, Monero is saying that it's impossible, and he is saying that they're lying and that CipherTrace can. But essentially what happened once he released all this data and everything that came out, Riccardo Spagni, also known as Fluffy Pony, he was one of the original lead developers of Monero. He still works on it every day. He's very active, very involved. Wrote an extensive thread basically saying that what this Twitter user did was nothing out of the ordinary, and it in fact does not prove in any way, shape, or form that he basically unmasked or or basically made anyone unanonymous, if that, I know that's not the right word, but essentially he basically said that, in fact, the way that Monero is designed makes it virtually impossible to identify the users with certainty. So while you may be able to pull some data, that data, there's no correlation or reason to believe that that data or that IP address that you get has anything to do with the person who actually sent that transaction. So he said on November 10th, recently a large incompetent attacker bumbled their way through a Sybil attack against Monero, trying to correlate transactions to IP addresses of the node that broadcasted said transaction. While it's a novel idea, the first Sybil attack of this sort, it was quite ineffective. So basically, a Sybil attack basically occurs when a malicious actor tries to obtain information from a user through various practices such as creating multiple accounts and multiple nodes to intercept and block transactions. This can happen on many public blockchains, but, as we said here, cannot happen on Monero. So, in short, essentially what happens is that when you publish a Monero transaction, that Monero transaction actually goes into what is a meme pool, which is basically a pool of other transactions. And it tends to sit there by design, because what happens is that data from that transaction goes to these meme pools, and it actually gets bounced around to multiple independent nodes before it even gets broadcasted on the network. So that way, that transaction will get bounced around to multiple nodes, and you will have no idea where that transaction originated from, where those coins came from, or how they are in any way linked to any other node or any other transaction before it is even broadcasted out to the entire network, thus making it literally impossible to say for certain that, all right, this transaction was sent by this person, because just by the very design of Monero, that node bouncing process makes that ability to track and trace those individuals impossible. So that was kind of interesting. It's just one more reminder that Monero is actually still probably the number one privacy coin, in my opinion. I think that I think privacy is very, very important. And again, I mean, you got things like the IRS trying to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to anyone that could possibly track it. Cipher trace and chain analysis have both come out and said that they can figure out some things, but not other things. But upon further investigation, there's no way to actually track who sent what transactions. But so I still think that Monero is running strong. And trust me, there are a lot of people that are trying to figure out how to anonymize, I can't say that word, but to make Monero no longer anonymous. And if someone does, there's going to be a pretty big bounty for that, right? So, and it's going to be pretty big news, and I doubt that we're going to hear about it from a random troll Twitter user. But again, just as a reminder, if you're still nervous and you want to do things to make sure you stay anonymous, you can do things like run your own node, broadcast your transactions on a block explorer using the push TX functionality, or even use Tor, a VPN, or I2P to mask your IP address even further. While those steps aren't necessary, it's always better to have good security practices in your day-to-day usage of Monero. So I thought that was a little interesting. The next story that I'm going to bring up here, let me pull this up, is going to be about a local senator that is very, very pro-Bitcoin. Her name is Cynthia Lumens, and she is a Republican senator from, I believe, Wyoming. Yep, a Republican senator from Wyoming. Let me pull this up here. And essentially, Bitcoin, basically, she said that Bitcoin is going to be an important player for a long time to come. And there she is. There's a picture of her. Kind of a creepy picture, but whatever. Who am I to judge? So she is the first female pro-Bitcoin senator coming from the great state of Wyoming, and has been very outspoken about the need for us to look ahead and stay on top of technology trends. She spoke on the TV show Good Morning America about the advantages of Bitcoin and its appeal as a store of value and value transfer system. And she quotes, I do hope to bring Bitcoin into the national conversation. I'm a former state treasurer, and I invested our state's permanent funds. So I was always looking for good store value, and Bitcoin fits that bill. Lumens then kind of went on to explain that the scarcity of Bitcoin was a huge aspect that provides its value and has a major competitive edge over the always inflating US dollar. She then went on to express further concerns over the government's inflationary policy and its handling of the COVID-19 spending. So I think that's just a cool little article to take a look at. I'll leave the links down below so you can read more about it, but it's always good to start to see politics take a more positive tone, and I think over time we're going to see this more and more, right? As the kind of game changes and people are more accepting of this, weird internet currency, I think people are starting to realize that, hey, this isn't just some scam or some silly Chuck E. Cheese token. Like, there's real value and real use cases here, and I think that is going to be the continuing trend as we progress further. But lastly, I want to talk about something that I think is very, very interesting. Yet another Crypto Potato article. Tend to like Crypto Potato, but it basically is explaining how early Ethereum 2.0 stakers will actually net huge profits for jumping in early and taking on risk, as opposed to sitting back and waiting on the sideline. So one of the things that you'll see if you look at a lot of other websites, right? Like if you go, I believe there's like an Ethereum 2.0 stake calculator that calculates that the average return on depositing your tokens into the smart contract will be around 5 to 7% per year. But this isn't entirely true. As a matter of fact, the return is on a much bigger sliding scale, thus meaning the less number of Ethereum tokens that are staked and the less validator nodes that there are, the APY and the percent that you get returned yearly is actually higher. As a matter of fact, so right now we need a total of 524,288 Ethereum tokens to be staked for the Ethereum 2.0 deposit contract to go live, right? And the deadline for that is December 1st. Now, if that threshold is not met by December 1st, then they just kick the can down the road and then they'll set a new date. I think it'll be another 2 weeks, so December 15th. If that's not met, then they'll do January 1st. So it's like an ever-pushing deadline if it doesn't get met. But if they do meet that 525,000 Ethereum deposits, what happens is the beacon chain Genesis block goes live, and that means that everyone who has deposited their Ethereum into the smart contract will then begin to run things on the Ethereum 2.0 mainnet and be generated and given a return for doing so. And as of speaking, I think right now this article said that there's 470,000, or I'm sorry, 50,000, sorry, I've read that wrong, about 50,000 tokens deposited. I'm looking at it as of recording this, 54,000, nope, sorry, as of recording this, 93,000 tokens had been deposited. So we are still quite a ways away from meeting that deadline. But here's the question. You say, oh, well, why would I deposit 32 Ethereum for only 5% return? Well, like I said, there is a sliding scale on your APY of the amount of money you get back for staking your Ethereum. And if you look deep into the, there's a couple online Ethereum calculators that are from the Ethereum Foundation. If the minimum Ethereum staked, which is the 525,000, right, you will be getting roughly 36% APY. So, to put that in perspective, you deposit 32 Ethereum. By the end of the year, if it stays at that minimum range, you will get back 11 Ethereum, right? So, as the number of Ethereum that's staked goes up, that APY will go down. So, for example, 1 million Ethereum will give an 18% APY, where 2.5 million Ethereum gives 10.2 APY, and so on and so on. I think once you get to, 10 million Ethereum, you're looking at about a 5% APY. So as more people jump in, you get less return. But it makes you wonder, okay, so if there is a 36% APY right now, why aren't people jumping in? And I think that there's a number of reasons behind that, and you kind of really have to look at the pros and the cons, the risk and the rewards, right? So if you think about it, there's a lot of drawbacks to just taking 32 Ethereum and then depositing them and boom, you're making money, right? Like, it's not as simple as like depositing them into some wallet address and then you're making money. There's some significant upfront investment. I mean, for one, the 32 Ethereum, but two, you're going to need to have a semi-decent computer that you can have connected and powered on 24 hours a day that can monitor the validator, because as if your computer goes offline for an extended period of time, you start to get penalized because you're no longer broadcasting the transactions like you should be. There are also a number of concerns about the actual code in the smart contract. And while this is a very, very rare situation, you think of the DAO hack that actually caused Ethereum Classic to basically spawn to life, where there was a smart contract that was buggy and essentially a malicious actor got away with tens of millions of dollars worth of Ethereum back in 2016. So there's a lot of people that are like, well, I don't really want to put my money into this smart contract right now to find out that all the bugs haven't been worked out and there's glitches and I don't get my 36% APY. Or worse, someone hacks into the contract and I lose all of my money. Which I will stress that I think that scenario is extremely rare, but still something to consider when you're balancing your risk and reward. And like I said, there are a lot of people that don't really have the technical know-how to set up a validator node, nor do they want to do the time or energy to look into and learn it, right? So that's some of the cons of just jumping into it. But on the flip side, you have a number of pros, one of which I think is amazing is you're now part of and helping run one of the largest, fastest growing blockchains in the world, right? It is going to be a blockchain that's going to be utilized worldwide. And now you can take ownership in that just beyond, oh, I own some tokens. You say, hey, I help run and make that blockchain work. Which, to me, some people are like, whatever. But to me, I think that's actually really, really cool. And I think that's actually a really big pro. On top of course, you're going to be making money, right? Everybody loves money. Everyone wants to get a good return on their funds. They don't want to just let their, Ethereum or their Bitcoin or whatever just sit around and do nothing. They want it to work for them. And this is probably one of the best ways, even considering, BlockFi's depositing or, the DeFi yield farming situations. Like, this is going to be probably one of the best, safest returns, at least in the short term, before this really starts to pick up steam. And I think there's another big pro in the fact that, as you take the initiative to learn how to run a validator, you're going to get the benefit of having that much higher APY. Now, granted, we could see the day before the contract goes live, the deadline, a massive boost of contract deposits or of Ethereum deposits, and then we're going to be at 1 million and your 36 is now 18 or your 32 is now 18, whatever. So I think that's something also to just kind of keep in the back of your head. But to me, I think this is a very, very interesting and fun way to really get into and be a part of the crypto space beyond just speculating on the price of digital tokens, right? Like, a lot of people sit around and say that, oh, they're all in on cryptocurrencies and they think it's going to be amazing, but at the end of the day, they don't really do anything other than try to figure out how to make money off of it, right? Here, you're actually building out the network and building the community, and I think that is a very, very important and kind of cool thing to be a part of. So, as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'll post a couple links that have some walkthroughs and guides on how to create a validator node for Ethereum 2.0. There's a guy, Chico Crypto. I actually found out quite a bit about this through one of his videos that he does walking through you setting up a validator node on the test net, and it's very informative. And he is also a great content creator. If you don't know about Chico Crypto, please go subscribe over to him and enjoy his content. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I will post those guides down below. If you guys really enjoyed this content, I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm a little rusty. It's been a couple months since I've posted anything, so I'm kind of just doing a quick little one shot, and then I'm not really going to be doing much polishing on this one, so just going to kind of record it, cut it, and post it. But anyways, feel free to leave a comment or thumbs up for the video. If you are not subscribed, please consider doing so, as I plan to be making videos at least 2, if not 3 times a week coming into the new year. And again, my name is Danny K, and this is Blockchain Breakdown. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.